Welcome back to SnowRunner, guys, and today we're going to be having a look at Lime's Zeus. Now, Zeus is obviously the console-friendly version of Lime's Ram TRX. Now, this was a collaborative project between Lime's and Rebel TRX-01, and this truck is basically a do-it-all machine. It has suspensions that are capable of basically making it suitable for racing, or balanced gameplay, or rock crawling, or jumping, or just about whatever you might want this thing to do. Now, Dodge fans are going to be really happy that this is finally in the game because newer Dodge trucks in particular haven't really seen all that much support in the SnowRunner modding community. Like, they've been out there, but there have definitely been less of them than maybe some other brands, and so it's really cool to see this truck coming out. Now, if you're watching this video right when it goes live, this truck should be on console really soon, just as soon as the devs approve it. Now, let's go ahead and get into the customization, and then we're also going to talk about the map that we're on as soon as we get outside. Now, engine-wise, you have three different options. You have your typical engines that are available in Lime's fashion. You have the stock 500 horsepower, which is already pretty potent. Then you have the built 950, and then you have the bulletproof, which is a lot. He doesn't even list a power number because it's that much. So we're going to go ahead and go with the bulletproof, and that's especially critical for the map that we're on. I wouldn't say critical to objective-based gameplay, but critical to if you want to have maximum fun factor. Now, transmissions-wise, you have default, which is also already a really good transmission. I wouldn't rule it out. It's still really good. Then you have the fast transmission, which is an 8-speed instead of a 9-speed like you might have seen in Lime's Aries. Then you have the heavy tow and the standard tow. We're going to go with the fast. And then suspension-wise, this is where it gets into a lot of different options. So you have your flex suspension, which is going to be primarily focused on just, rock crawling, trail riding, things like that. Then you have the lift, which is honestly, that's if you want to set this thing up with giant mud tires. Then you have the race suspension, which is designed around, race tracks with jumps like the ones you would see out on the Stadium Super Trucks map, for example. Then you have the tow setup. Then you have the water crossing suspension, which the water crossing suspension was originally made as a joke back on Lime's Aries, and it's kind of carried forward from that, so it pretty much does the same thing. And then the YB tune. The YB tune is basically a guest tune by a mod creator slash developer named YaBuddy, who basically did his own spin on the way he would like this truck to drive. And then the stock suspension, which is also active and has its own set of driving dynamics. So for this test, we're going to start with, I believe, probably I was going to start with the flex tune, but I think for this particular map, I kind of want to start with the race tune and see what that's like to drive. Now, wheel and tire options. You have a ton of them. You have not only a ton of options, but every single option you have has basically a standard grip level and a OP grip level. So you can see right here we have Boggers and then Boggers OP, and the list resets. So you have every single category also doubled up with basically a over-the-top, overpowered version thereof. Now, you do have the IROCs that are available on several other trucks from Lime's, and really at the end of the day, the wheel and tire options just come down to your own personal preference. Now, this particular tire, the Super Swamper tire, is new. You may not have seen that on this truck before, and it is a good option if you want something a little bit different to go with. Now, I personally really like these Maxxis tires. They were one of my favorites on Lime's recently released Duramax, and those all the way at the bottom are going to be like the tire option all the way down to the bottom are going to be the over-the-top, I shouldn't say over-the-top, overpowered variant of the largest Maxxis tire. Now, the cool thing about these is that they are also excellent rated on ice as well, so if you wanted to take this thing into like a snowy, icy environment, you can totally do that. Now, there's the option of a gooseneck hitch in the back, but you must have the IR gooseneck pack downloaded, installed, and enabled for that to work. Now, visuals-wise, you have the drop hitch on the back, which also looks really cool. Rock lights-wise, you have a few color options there, blue, green, and red, and also kind of like standard color. Then you have a light bar, which can go on top, which also includes 10,000 repair points, 10 spare wheels, and 133 units of fuel in it. Now, the front bumper, you really are only going to need that if you're going to go with the towing setup, which is basically that's where you're going to get the weighted bumper option from, or get it. Well, that's what you would get it for. Then bed-wise, you have the toy up for basically hauling any kind of side-by-side. You also have the roll bar, which is modeled after the Ram bar. And then wheels-wise, you have obviously each tire option has its own set of wheel option choices. Now, onto the colors, you have a standard range of colors, which all look really good, plus some colors that have been basically made extra bright by Limes himself, like, for example, these different, purple colors, a couple of different blues, and then this yellow, which is super bright, the red, which is super bright, and of course the green, which looks really good as well. No interior customization on this one, but that's not really that big of a deal. And now we're going to go ahead and head outside and see what this thing is like to drive. So let's fire it up. What's actually really cool about this truck is that he actually saves some space by using a standard in-game sound file, which honestly, I'm not even upset about that. So let's see how it jumps right off of this first ramp. Let me back up real quick and then put it into low and dump it. Let's go. Come on. Oh, it is not slow at all. I'm going to throw it into high right at the bottom. Yeah, dude, this racing suspension is incredible. And as you can see, it's a no damage suspension as well. That's why our suspension was already in the, basically it already appeared red after leaving the garage. And the whole reason for that is because it is once again, a no damage suspension. So the racing suspension, you can just basically blast through whatever and it's not going to affect your truck. As you'll see right here, when we run over these bumps, let's see how it does. Yeah, I mean, it gives you tire damage, but that's about it. Let's see if it's got enough speed to clear some of these ramps. Now, I haven't talked about the map yet, but the map is another map from Limes, and if you guys have been a fan of the ski jump map that you've seen on my channel before, this map is basically the follow-up to that. This is Limes Playground, and it should basically be out now. If you are seeing this video, both the truck and the map that I'm on should both be out now. Let's see if we can make this jump. Oh my god, we made it, way more than we originally thought. Okay, let's see if we can get the speed right for that. Now, there's another area on this map that I'm going to show you guys, and I'm not going to necessarily show you guys the entire map in this video, but I do want to show you guys some of my favorite areas and some of my favorite highlights of it. So, this section right here is definitely going to be a fun one to mess around with your friends. If you want to just, see who can get this jump line down first. Now, let's see. Easy. Oh, yeah, that's going to be enough. It's going to oh my god, that's going to overdo it a lot, but... Oh, and then we're not going to make that. Oh, no. Oh, it just barely bounced off the lip at the back. Now, there is also another jump line here in the back that he recently added, and I haven't actually completely cleared that one yet, but I want to take a little bit of a run at it right now. Probably won't clear it, but let's see what we can do. Oh, my God. Get your truck aimed. Come on. Oh, not bad. Come on. Come on. Oh, not enough. Now, the rhythm was wrong. Yeah, whoa! It grabbed my axle and then really threw me for a loop. Oh, man. We almost actually had it. We almost had it based on where we landed. Now, let's actually change the setup on this truck up a little bit. We're going to swap it out to the water crossing suspension, and then we're going to swap it out for some absolutely ridiculous tires. Like, for example... Let's do some gigantic, well, we could do some gigantic overpowered boggers. This is going to be hilarious. This is going to be absolutely hilarious. So let's see what wheel colors we have. Oh, dude. Okay, we're going to go with the black and gold. And then, as you can see, this wheel and tire size might look okay on the truck right now, but trust me, it's about to be, it's about to look very small after we adjust the suspension up at the top of the mega ramp. And yes, this map has, this map has a mega ramp, very similar to the mega ramp that you see on the ski jump map. So now, if you want to just take literally any truck and launch it into oblivion, you can do that with the ramp that you see right here on this map. So this is definitely going to be, I think, one of the areas of the map that people hang out in a lot, and it could potentially become the most popular area of this map. But once again, I highly encourage you guys to check this map out and head out here in multiplayer with your friends. It's a blast. Now, this also right here is an automatic repair station, so if you've maybe, banged up or damaged out your truck, you can actually drive it right there and repair yourself before you go to the top of the ski jump. Let's jump over the top real quick. And now, we're going to go ahead and get this thing lined up. And then we're going to activate the ski jumps. Well, I should say activate the water crossing suspension right before we head down the ramp. In 3, 2, 1, go! All right, it's going up. It's going up. It's going up. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. 7th, and go! It didn't go quite as high as, the... Oh, God. Oh! This suspension has some really weird physics when it hits the ground. It really does. Like, it will launch you in all sorts of weird, strange, crazy directions. Let's see if we can flip ourselves over real quick. We should be able to. I don't really see any reason why we wouldn't be able to, unless there's a little bit of like a physics issue or a glitch or something like that that involves, you know, getting caught in the ground. But it doesn't look like there was an issue like that, so I think we'll be able to get ourselves flipped back over pretty swiftly, although that, again, does not seem to be the case. So, we're bringing in our friend, the trusty 2017 L400. We've used this thing to get ourselves out of a bind more than once, and you know what? This truck is definitely one of the best for it, so let's fire it up. And yep, that literally popped it right back onto its wheels. Right back onto its wheels with literally no issues whatsoever. So now there is a mud park out here by the end of, or I should say kind of after the landing zone of the ski jump, and you really can do just about everything out here. You can do jumps, ski jumping, racing. You can literally go mudding. You have a full-size mud park out here, and literally you could come out to this map with your friends and do just about whatever you wanted to. And there are some other areas that we haven't even looked at or talked about yet. Oh my god, did I just bog this thing out? Not for long. There you go. That's what the water crossing suspension is good for. Just in case you really do get completely stuck one day and you need a little bit of an out. Yeah, the water crossing suspension is your out. But I'm gonna go ahead and bring it back down because there's not much else I can do up there, you know? It's pretty limited on what it can do up there. Now, in keeping with the idea of going back and forth between some different types, let's go with the lift now, and then we'll go with the, if we can find them. Let's see, off-road tire, bogger, check mark. 1.4 OP. There we go. So if you want to do a full-on mudding setup, this is going to be the mudding setup. It's going to be the lifted suspension with the OP checkmark tires. So let's make one more run through the mud like this and see how it affects the performance. Oh yeah, this is like just foot to the floor and high, and it is ripping. It actually slowed down a little bit there, though, much to my surprise. I am varying the throttle input a little bit and also kind of like, you know, modulating the steering back and forth, and you kind of do have to do that sometimes with this truck to get it to not get stuck. But yeah, I mean, it's actually kind of a realistic approach to it, honestly, even though, you know, the overpowered upgrades are definitely, you know, a good ways away from the realistic side of things. It is cool to see that you do have to kind of retain some of that technique. So let's make our way up this hill. It's kind of the exit to the mud park. Oh, this is gonna be a big compression when we hit that. Oh god, I didn't want to, like, really rampage it up the hill because I didn't want to have any issues, but let's see. Now, over here, this should be the monster park. Now, Lime's RR13 monster truck is definitely a rig that I recommend bringing out here, because if you bring it out to the monster park, especially if you bring it out here with your friends, you could basically have your own little monster jam. Now, granted, you wouldn't be able to have a ton of different monster trucks, or maybe not like the actual trucks on Monster Jam, but still, you could legit like have a backflip ramp and all of these different, you know, monster truck related contests on this map. Just for the giggles, let's see what this thing can do on the backflip ramp. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. You know why? Because right now it is a mud truck. It's not a monster truck. And really, there isn't a monster truck setup available for it, but the mud truck setup is still an absolute blast. And the lifted suspension still does soak up the landings of these jumps really, really well. Now, if you haven't had the chance to check out either this truck or this map yet, definitely do so, and also let me know in the comment section down below what you guys thought of both the truck and the map. And what's also really interesting is that this area of the map seems to have some unused real estate that Limes might use for some other elements, maybe a little bit later on down the road. So I cannot wait to see what he has in store for this place in some later updates. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. And if you enjoyed it, make sure to let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Hit that like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time.